Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you're returning. My name is Araya Curry, and I'm so glad that you decided to spend the next couple of moments with me because we're going to go ahead and get into some things. So, I was reading through some of my previous journal entries, and I came across this specific entry. I want to read it to y'all. I said, and I won't show y'all, got my old journal right here, right here. I said, I don't know. It kind of feels like I'm plagued with false ambition. Like I have goals, dreams, and aspirations, and it feels like I do enough to get started on working towards these things, but not enough to sustain me to see them through. Listen, honey, I know some of y'all feel like that. I know some of y'all feel like that because I felt like that for so long. When I would see a lot of the like self help stuff that's out there, of course, it talks about having a vision and having goals and stuff like that. And personally, I've never really struggled with the visioning and the goals part. Like I've always set goals for myself. I've always done like vision boards and stuff like that. Like even as a teenager, because I was in programs that encourage stuff like that. Like I've always been able to see something better for myself, but I would start things and not finish it. I felt like I was plagued with false ambition because I didn't have a problem setting goals. I didn't have a problem creating a vision board. The issue I was having, and I didn't even have a problem getting started. The issue was literally seeing it through. The number one, so when I reflect and I look back and I see, okay, why did I start all these things, right? Because when you're a person who, and I'm going to talk about myself specifically, right? So I'm I know I'm smart, right? And I know I have the aptitude to do a lot of things. Like I know I'm capable of doing a lot of different things. Anything that I've started, I've been pretty good at. Even when I was when I was working jobs, like I would work jobs and be like one of the highest performing customer service agents, or when I was in the military, like I was really like grinding, trying to like get a higher rank and do more like around the command and stuff like that. Like I've always been that type of person. I'm good at these things. I know I can do these things, but why am I not excelling and actually hitting goals and milestones and achievements in these things the way that I know that I'm able to do so? Like I know I have the capability to be great. I know I have the capability to be successful in anything that I do, but why am I not seeing that success? And so I realized, right, that it's because that they weren't things that I really wanted for myself. Like I was trying to because I had the ability to do things and I was capable of doing the things, and I may even start doing the thing and I might be fairly good at it. But I didn't actually want those things for myself. Like the desire wasn't there. The burning desire, the fire that you need to really push you through things. Like I did not have that. I was not able to be consistent because I didn't genuinely want those things for myself. They might have sounded good, it might have seemed like a good idea, but it wasn't for me because it was not authentic to who I was. It wasn't what I truly wanted for myself. Like, I'm sorry if I keep looking down, I got notes. Y'all, I had did like a project management course because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do project management. I could go into tech, or I can, be a different type of project manager. Because when I looked at the skills that you need to be a project manager, I had all of those skills. Like I literally I had redid my resume, put my resume in AI, and I told it based on the following, based on my experience and the skills that I have gotten within my experience and stuff, like give me a list of jobs that you think like that I'd be good at. And so I just kind of went from that list and started seeing like, okay, I'd be good at this, I'd be good at that. So what did I do? I started trying my hand at the things. I did a data analytics, I started that type of certificate program, didn't finish it, right? Then I started the project management, didn't finish it. And then even with jobs, like I would get into a job, and because, like I said, I'm just excellence has always been a standard for myself. So just because I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm so sorry, y'all. I know this is so random. My nails, forgive me. just forgive me. I'm these are press homes. Anyways, but even with jobs, like I might do good, do well, and then because I'm always, like I said, I'm a vision caster, I'm a goal getter. Okay, I like to go get goals. I like to have goals and go get them. But even though I wasn't getting them, but I had the ambition to do so. I always set my sets high. So even when I would be on like a job, I'm not just trying to be a regular customer service agent. I'm trying to see what do I need to be to get in operations. What do I need to do to be, become a manager? Like, like that's the type of stuff that I would do. But I never saw any of that through. I didn't see none of the certificate programs through. I unenrolled from school, didn't see that through. The jobs didn't see those through long term because they were not true to who I was and what I wanted for myself. So you first gotta really take an honest look at whatever things that you've been pursuing, that you say that you want for yourself. You have to really kind of just take a second, have a seat, get out pen and paper, and be honest. Is this what I really want for my life? Like, does it seem like, oh, this is a good idea for now? Because, like, this is what I would do. I've always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always known that I wanted to build a business. Like, that's always what I've known I wanted to do. I've been kind of an entrepreneur my whole life. Like, even as a kid, I would, like, do things, sell things, stuff like that. But I knew that was what I wanted to do. But I was like, okay, I'm going to get this project management certification, and then doing this, I'll be able to get the job, and then I'll also get the skills I need. I'll get some skills that will help me when it's time to build my own business or when it's time for me to be an entrepreneur. Same thing with data analytics. I was like, okay, data analytics honestly kind of played off of my analytical experience when I was in the Navy, but I was like, okay, I can do this, and then I'll learn because you could be a business analyst when you get when you're into data analytics. So I'm like, oh, I'll go be a business analyst and watch how they do things in their business, and then I'll be able to bring that over to my business one day. No, like that logical? Yes, that was a very logical approach, right? It was very logical, but I didn't have the actual desire to do those things. If you are getting into project management, you should probably really want to be a project manager because it's not necessarily an easy task. If I was going to get into data analytics, it would be smart, right, to actually want to do data analytics. Not, I'm going to do this so that I can get to this or this, so, and I realized, now as I'm pursuing it and doing it, the best way to learn entrepreneurship for me is just to start a business, to get a concept, open a business, and start and get it through experience. So you got to figure out though what you really want for yourself, because that desire is what's gonna carry you through when it comes time when things get hard. Because I realize it's very naive to think that rainy days won't come. That's super, they're gonna come. So when it comes to, pursuing, maybe a career, a profession, a specific lifestyle, whatever it is that you're after, you have to make sure that that's really what you want, because the desire for that thing is what is gonna be able to actually carry you through to consistency. Reverend Michael Beckwith, he has a quote that says, your pain will push you until your vision pulls you. So I don't want to keep getting pushed by pain, right? Let me give y'all an example. I have been saying I wanted to move. Y'all know in my previous videos, I talked about me relocating and stuff like that, and kind of talked about my journey. But I knew that when I was living in Indiana, I knew I did not want to fucking stay in Indiana. I was like, I have to get up out of here. Like I was either gonna go to California, I was gonna go to Florida, but I was like, I cannot do this. Like I couldn't do it. But I was for years, right? Well, it took me about 2 years before I actually moved. But for that time period, I was playing, right? I was comfortable. I just was not taking it serious enough. And a big reason of why I think I was just not taking my goal of moving to a coastal town, I think the reason why I was not taking it serious enough was because I was comfortable. I was very comfortable. And comfort breeds complacency. And so I was just there. And even though I was hating it, like I loved my family because that's where my family was, but it was just like I just didn't want to be there. And it got to the point where and the pain that pushed me into actually making it happen was losing my dad. My dad, he died and he was murdered. And so for me, it just kind of put into perspective, one, the fragility of life, and then two, that our days here are numbered. And that you don't know when your moment is. You don't know. We don't know when we're gonna die. I'm telling you this as a person who had all these dreams, had all these plans, and I kept planning. I was just always stuck in planning. I was always planning. I was always making a list. I was always getting the pictures. I was doing all these different things, but I was not taking the action, right? Because I wasn't uncomfortable enough. And I think when you are programmed, and you might not realize this, but it's something I have to realize for myself. If you are kind of programmed to be in survival mode and you have to wait for things to get hard, for you to move, like that's a hard way to live life. You're going to make your life hard when you don't have to. And when I lost my dad, it just really put into perspective that I do not know when I'm going to die. And for me, I said, I did not want to die in Indiana. Like, I just didn't want that to be my story. And so it took me 3 months, 3 whole months, January, February. I literally moved March 30th from his death. It took me 3 months from his death to move. Well, from his funeral. We're going to do over from his funeral. It took me 3 months to move. After being in Indiana previously for 2 years and some change. About 2.5 years I was in Indiana. And when I was thinking, I was like, why? What was the difference, right? Because why didn't I make what was the difference? And it was the feeling. I really felt like life was too short. And I'm telling you, life is too short for you to just keep fucking around. You got to choose your heart, okay? Because it's going to be hard to stay where you at. It's going to be hard to stay the same. But it's also hard to change. And it's also hard to rise to the occasion. That's what I realized I had to do. Whatever you want, whatever you're after, it's not going to fall out of the sky and fall in your lap. I'm telling you that right now. It's not falling out the sky. It's not falling in your lap. You're not winning the lottery. You're not marrying rich and he's going to take all your problems away and pay off your debt. It's not happening that way. You got to will your life into existence. You have to take action. You got to rise to the occasion. You want shit to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. When I was trying to make my move happen, I was applying to jobs every day, constantly getting passed up. I mean, I had in 50, 60 Indeed applications, and it only took to get one. You just have to keep casting your net. I had to keep casting my net. I had to keep putting myself out there, tweaking my resume, putting myself out there, applying to more jobs, trying this site, getting in Facebook groups. I had to rise to the occasion. The move didn't fall in my lap. Your goals, they don't fall in your lap. You got to go get that shit. So you have to set a standard for yourself that you're willing to rise to the occasion, to do whatever it takes. This is the thing. You're here. You got goals that's here. And you want your goals to meet you where you at. That's not how it works. That's not how you going to have these type of goals. You want your goals to come down to your level? No, you have to rise. You have to rise to the occasion, seriously. So, what do you need to do so you can stop going from being plagued with false ambition? Because that's what I felt. I felt like I was just plagued with false ambition. I was like, God, why do I have all these visions? Why do I have all these goals? Why do I have all these plans? But nothing has fucking happened. Why do I start stuff? Why do I know I can be good at something? Why do I know I can do, know I have the ability to do it? Not necessarily believing myself to carry it through, but I know I have the ability to do this. Like data analytics, I can fucking do data analytics. Project management, I can do project management. But why don't I? Why am I not doing it? Because it wasn't true to me, and I was too comfortable where I was at. So, for you to go from being plagued with false ambition to actually start taking the steps and start to rise to the occasion of your goals. Rise to the level of your goals. Don't stoop. Don't shrink. Okay? So I'm going to give this is what you need to do. Okay? Get clear on the season that you're in. That's the first thing I have to do. I have to get clear. What do I want for myself right now? And that was really because I think I'm such a big thinker, such a visionary, so many ideas come to me. And because I feel like I can do a lot of things, and like I said, I think I have a really wide range of aptitude of things that I have the ability and the capability to do. You know, I also vision really big. So you need to get clear on the season that you're in because you're going to have to focus. Of course, like when I used to imagine myself living somewhere else, I had a big picture because I wrote the vision and I made it plain. I was like, okay, I'm going to live in this city. I'm going to have this type of house. I'm going to have this type of car. This is what I'm going to be doing for work. This is how much I'm going to be making a month. Like I'm clear on exactly what it is that I'm after. But what I struggled with was I thought it was all supposed to happen at once. Like I thought me living in Florida, like, no, I can't live in Florida until until I'm ready to buy the house that I want to buy in Florida and I'm ready to buy the car that I want to drive and I'm already making the money that I want to make and I can afford to send my son to the school that I found that I want him to go to. I thought it was all supposed to happen at once, and that's not how it happens. Let me tell you how it happens, and I'm going to give you an example. When I cook Thanksgiving, okay, I cooked on Thanksgiving. When I thought about the overall meal I had to cook, and let me tell you, it was so nice having my family come, my mom and my siblings. They came down to my place, in Florida. We had Thanksgiving together, and it was a beautiful experience because, like I'm on my own, and they got to come to my stuff, so it was cool. Anyways, but when I was cooking Thanksgiving, when I was getting ready to, at first I got so overwhelmed. I was like, oh my fucking gosh, I got to make so much stuff. I was overwhelmed. And then I realized, I was like, okay, I took a deep breath. I said, Araya, you just got to take it one thing at a time. You just got to take it one thing at a time. Because, at least once you get this in the oven, then you can start working on this. And then eventually, as you keep working, focusing on one thing at a time. Focusing on, if I'm about to do the sweet potatoes, okay, I got to peel the sweet potato. I got to peel the sweet potatoes. I got to rinse them off. I got to cut them. I got to put them in the pot. I got to focus on the sweet potatoes first. I can't be trying to do sweet potatoes, green beans, cornbreads, and do the turkey at the same time. And that's what I was doing in my life. Because I had an idea of my overall meal, of my overall vision of how I want my life, I thought all of that was supposed to come together at the same time. No. So I had to get clear on what was my season right now. My season was I am focused on moving. At that time, more than anything else, I wanted to move. So cool. So that was, you got to get clear. What season am I in right now? It might not all happen at once. But what is the one thing, the one area, this one thing that if I could just get this, like, let me just get this. For me, it was moving. So, okay, I did what I had to do to make it happen, because once you figure out exactly what do you really want for your life, like seriously, what do you want for your life? Because that's the only way you're going to actually commit to what you need to commit to. Because once you get clear on the season that you're in and that one thing that you're going to focus on, you got to truly commit to that. You have to truly commit to that. I'm committed to living a healthy lifestyle. I'm committed right now to working out 4 to 5 times a week. Do I feel like working out every day? No. But I'm committed to getting more tone. I'm committed to my fitness goals at the moment. You got to truly just be committed to it. More than anything, I wanted to relocate to Tampa, right? It did not matter if I got up that one morning and I'm just tired. I couldn't, my burning desire to change my zip code overrode whatever I was feeling that day. When I got a job, put in a job application, and I got passed up, okay, on to the next. Because I can't care that this one little job didn't work. First of all, there's plenty. I couldn't care that this job didn't work because I was more committed to moving. I was committed to relocating. So you have to figure out what is that thing that you're going to commit to. One thing. I wasn't trying to make myself a millionaire during that time frame. I wasn't overly focused on anything else. The only other thing that I was truly prioritizing at the time was my fitness. And that's because I was like, well, if I'm going to move to where the beach is, I need to have a beach body, you know. Well, I wanted to. But what is that thing that you're going to commit to? You got to figure that out. And it has to be true to who you are. It can't sound good. When I was looking into project management, really it's because I think I was trying to appease, you know, my mama. Like, I just wanted her to feel like I was going to be okay when I moved. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm about to get this project management certificate. And look, project managers can make anywhere from $70K to this much and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm telling her, like, oh, entry-level project managers make this much a year. And once I finish this, like, I did it because it sounded good. It made it seem like I was doing something. And it was honestly easing and appeasing, you know, I was trying to ease and appease my mom's mind about me moving. You know, trying to just prove to her, like, hey, like, you know, I'll be okay type of deal. No, it didn't work. I had moved to Florida and was still trying to force myself to finish the project management certification. But I never did. Did I get great skills from all of the different things that I attempted to do? Yes. Absolutely yes. Because all things work together for your good. All of your experiences either you think they're working against you or they're working for you. I could have easily looked at the time I spent on all of those things and said it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. It was not a waste of time because I learned something. I learned from the good and the bad in my life, period. So all the things that you've tried, they're not a waste of time. I promise you, you're going to be surprised how full circle some of all the knowledge and experience that you gained from all of the other things that you tried. You're going to be so just shook when you see how it comes together, when you apply all of your experience to what it is that you actually want to do. Listen, y'all. I quit my last job in December. I said I was just stressed out. I didn't have no time to work on anything that I really wanted to work on. It was just too much. Like I was just like, you know what? I'm not doing this shit no more. I was like, I tried to force myself to say, I'm going to stay at this job and I'm going to give this job X amount of time to get X amount of experience. And then I'll be able to use it however much time from now to help me with something else. And I realized the amount of energy that it takes to put into things that you really don't want to do. You could put that into the things that you actually want to do, and you could build on that. The amount of energy that I was put into the job that I was at, it takes the same energy to do YouTube, content creation, day trading, all the things that I'm doing. It takes that same energy. I was just placing it elsewhere. Because where energy goes, energy flows. So if you are ambitious and you do have goals and you do have vision for yourself, but you are still, for some reason, not seeing shit through, it's time to evaluate, are these things that you really want for yourself? Are you comfortable? Are you committed to it truly? Listen. I'm in a stage of my life where I'm done being pushed by my pain. Is it nice that I can look at my pain in that way and alchemize it and still make it a good thing for myself? Yes. But continuously and repeatedly doing that is you putting yourself in survival mode. You keep having to have something to bounce back from. I'm telling y'all in real time right now, still to this moment, I'm learning to not do that. I'm practicing not doing that. I'm practicing look, here is the knowledge, clear as day. Here's what you need to do. Just rise to the occasion and do it. I'm telling you, you can rise to the. I believe that you can do it. You just got to get real about what you want. Don't just do shit because it sounds good to do. Do it because that's actually what you want to do. I'm telling you, that is honestly the key. The reason why I've been able to stay consistent with doing my videos, doing my content on Instagram, doing everything that I'm doing is because this is what I actually want to do. So I'm not forcing myself to do nothing. And then when shit's hard, it's still worth it because this is what I want to do. I remember when I was in the Navy and I was an intelligence specialist and we would have days, boy, on the watch floor and stuff. It was rough. But even when I got home and I would decompress, I would just be like, to me, it was worth it because at that time in my life, like that was really what I wanted to do. I was like, it's worth it. I'm learning. I was just learning how it all worked, even when it was a rough day, even when my part of the brief was fucked up, even I was learning. So it was still worth it to me. You got to actually it has to be something you really want to do, boo. I'm telling you, that's honestly the key. If you've not seen anything through up until this point, you really didn't want to do it. You tried to convince yourself that it's a good thing to do. Maybe it was a logical thing to do. Maybe it was something other people wanted you to do. But is it really what you wanted to do? Because that's what's going to sustain you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love y'all and I hope to see y'all next week.